And you can't pick and choose who can tell the truth.
He another one of them. He another one. He's another one. He's another one where I feel like if he take his glasses off, his nose will come off with it too. Yeah, he reminds me of Myron. Why is it always the trash pandas that they got these noses where it look like when they wear glasses where it look like if you take them off, the nose will come off with it? Why is that?
Racism because they talking to another black person, or does it have to be directed at a white person, or is it?
You know what? When I'm looking at this dude, it's like a miserable and a potato did the fusion dance together. I'm gonna start calling him Miserable Idaho.
Entire United States of America, including HBCUs. The whole concept of HBCUs in 2025, as of the recording of this video.
You know what? I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I ain't listening to no that got Easter basket grass on his face. Like I'm sorry. This is hard. This is really hard. Like Jesus, I don't know what you putting in your beard, bro, but you need to stop. Your beard looking mad synthetic. All right. If I light a match and I throw it in your beard, that bitch is gonna catch fire. Right.
Quite frankly, I think those students acted in the most respectful way possible, because if you did that at my alma mater, anything could have happened to you.
First of all right, it's so much sass in this video.
What the f does that have to do with anything? When you bring up their sexuality before even discussing the point that they made, you try to invalidate their argument by calling out their sexuality. I really wanted to react to this because I didn't have time to talk about this myself, but this is actually one of Jew Almighty's videos, and this video is entitled Anton Daniel Sells Out Defending MAGA Invading Black Colleges. So I wanted to talk about this because somebody in the Discord, again, if you guys haven't joined the Discord, make sure that you join. Somebody in the Discord said, hey, you need to talk about Anton Daniel. So I really want to do that this week, and I probably will. But I thought this would be a great start. And Jew's videos are dope, so I know it's going to be a good one. Make sure that you guys subscribe to Jew if you haven't already. It was Scally. Yes, of course. Appreciate you, Scally. I don't know if you guys remember this situation, just to give you guys a little context, but after Charlie Kirk was unalived, a lot of HBCU started to get like threats for whatever reason. I have no idea why. And shortly afterwards, there were two MAGA content creators that went on campus and basically like was just trying to get clips. Essentially, they were trying to debate these black students on the HBCU campus, not thinking that they would not be welcomed within this current political climate. I don't know why they felt like, or why they were surprised they got ran off, you know?
Oh, yeah!
What's crazy to me is all these black students did was record them, laugh at them, yell at them, essentially clowned and bullied them until they were off the campus. And yet, they still got called animals. You got people calling to defund the school. They're getting called ghetto university and no class, amongst other things.
I truly believe the whole goal of that was rage bait. They go to the black campuses talking about things that they know would offend or get a reaction out of black people.
Shout out to the students at Tennessee State University that forced away racist Trump supporters that gathered on their campus. This is exactly how we need to be dealing with racism.
I don't think that they're embarrassing us. I think that they're embarrassing them. And anybody that supports it, anybody that advocates for it, and anybody that thinks it's cool.
Anton Daniels is another one of these black conservative YouTubers like the Hodge twins, Officer Tatum, and more recently Stevie Knight, who you
I had to howl it.
use their skin color as a shield to protect them from criticism while constantly bashing the black community. They call themselves truth tellers, but in reality, their entire platforms revolve around obsessively criticizing black people and the left while painting conservatives in the best light possible. They exaggerate, they demonize, and they spotlight the worst examples they can find of the black community. But they don't hold conservatives to those same standards because all of their content is filtered through a Republican lens. And even though they may look like us and sound like us, don't get it twisted. They are working to to divide black people. They intentionally push that same old good versus black narrative, which is straight out of the slavery playbook. You can literally read that strategy in the Willie Lynch letters. And people are finally starting to wake up and call them what they are.
We got coon, we got bootlicker, we got coconut.
I've never heard coconut. Somebody.
Okay, thank you, Jew. So I wasn't the only one. I wasn't the only one that never heard coconut, but it made sense. Coconuts are brown, but when you open them up on the white side, on the inside, I said the white side. On the inside, they're white. So that's clever, but I never heard that one before either.
Somebody tell me what coconut is. I've never heard that before. What does a coconut mean?
We got Uncle Tom, Sellout.
Thanks, Stevie. Look, I find them and their content detestable. They know exactly what they're doing by constantly tearing down the black community while giving a safe space for conservatives and people with anti-black sentiments to unload in their comments. Seriously, how many black fatigue videos can a black man make with a comment section that looks like this? Anton Daniels and all these other black conservative YouTubers are anti-blackness at its finest. And Anton proved this himself by going out of his way to defend MAGA invading black campuses, and then criticize how the black students handled it, knowing exactly what MAGA stands for. But I'm Jew, welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it.
And guys, keep in mind, nobody's getting assaulted, nothing. At most, all that happened was just a lot of yelling. That was it. That was it.
I feel like y'all are moving in slow motion.
That's it.
I love my HBCU. Yeah. Woo! You're not welcome here. My fucking family. You're not welcome here. Everyone back here again.
Appreciate you.
I can go higher.
White boys that pulled up
Appreciate
to the
you, L.
HBCU to looking for a debate. DEI.
And for everybody that's in the chat right now, if you haven't subscribed, please do me a favor and subscribe if you haven't. Appreciate you.
Conservatism, etc., etc. I'm not here to question your motives, but optically, it wasn't a good look. Right message, wrong messenger.
When conservatives, MAGA do this, they're not worried about a message. The whole thing that made Charlie Kirk famous and viral is that people engaged with him and gave him the opportunity to debate with skewed and false facts and an anti-black narrative. Any of these other MAGA guys going on campuses, setting up a table, are looking for the exact same thing. They're looking for a clip, a viral moment, an interaction or engagement that they can post online, get sympathy and support from the right, and demonize the left or people of color. They're not really trying to get a message across.
Now, I appreciate that you guys tried and also brought this conversation to the front of the class, because it's long overdue that black people in the black community, HBCUs, have a conversation about free speech and conservatism. Black people are conservative, but the HBCUs have turned into a liberal indoctrination.
Stop. That's how I know you've never been to a HBCU before. That is an absolute lie. You have people of different ethnicities that teach at HBCUs. You have different people of political affiliations that teach at HBCUs as well. And I know that for a fact because I've been on campus on multiple HBCUs, from Virginia State to fucking Howard. I had friends that went to HBCUs. They have told me this shit. That is an absolute lie.
Camp. It has been infested. Black people are conservative. They send their kids to these liberal arts HBCUs.
By his accent, I assume he's not black American born or maybe first generation. And his
Thank you. That is always the case. That's always the case.
Families from a different country, which is maybe why he has his ultra-conservative perspective. I said it a bunch of times, and I'll keep saying it. Black people are not a monolith. We are diverse across the country and across the world. We have a bunch of different upbringings, backgrounds, beliefs, and principles. So for him to just categorize black people as conservative and say HBCUs brainwash black people to be liberal is false and another skewed version of truth that black conservatives push.
And keep in mind, people are not just saying this about HBCUs. People are also saying this about college in general. People do not want you to be educated at this point.
Cut their hair off. They got these septum rings, and they talking about white supremacy this, white supremacy that. All that money donated to the HBCUs. Trump allocating all that money, and what do you get from that? You get septum ring piercings. You get crippling student loan debt.
It's 100% a reason that Anton Daniels chose this as the first video to respond to the MAGA kids getting chased off campus. This was 100%
anti-intellectual, absolutely
intentional.
HBCUs, they need conservatives, point blank. Conservatives need a space in HBCUs if they're going to change course. They might need a new conservative president, new conservative dean. They're going to need, like, at least have a conservative conversation.
From the way he's talking, I would assume he didn't go to a HBCU in the first place. I did, and I can tell you for a fact, there were definitely conservative professors. This was from all across the world. All of my computer science professors were Egyptian or Middle Eastern. So there were definitely conservative professors. And I don't think being liberal was shoved down anybody's throats. And what he's talking about is culture.
Political affiliations are not shoved down your throat in college. Like, I don't know who the fuck told these people that. That's not true. If you feel like people go into college conservative and they come out liberal, it's not because they're being brainwashed or anything like that. It's only because they have different perspectives. They talk to people. They witness things. They saw shit that changed their mind, that changed their very small worldview that they had. That's what college does. But no, we want to be this is all anti-intellectualism.
In general, talking about septum rings, which has nothing to do with the HBCU education, which again makes me think he's not even talking from experience.
The amount of money being invested into HBCUs, these kids are coming out of the school with this type of degree, with liberal arts degrees, and can't nothing in AI, engineering, nothing like that.
That can be.
What are you talking about? People come out of college with a lot of different degrees. What are you talking about? People get degrees on what they want to they get their degrees depending on what they want their future jobs to be. Like, or oh God. Like, I have a mass communications degree with a concentration in print online journalism because I wanted to be a journalist at one point.
Duh. Said about any college in the U.S. Students pick degrees based on what they want to do or what they're passionate about. Whether that's liberal arts, criminal justice, engineering, AI engineering, whatever it is. So the points he's making, and Anton Daniels cracking up like he's Eddie Murphy here, is just without merit.
They're just going there to be told that white supremacy is holding them back. And
chat, anybody that went to freaking college has a professor ever directly said, oh, white supremacy is holding you back? Especially, please answer this question if you went to an HBCU specifically. Please. I've never heard this. No one teaches this. This is all lies.
The whitest student loan is the way that it is.
I agree 100% with what he says because all of this stuff is stuff that I say on a regular basis. The only thing I don't agree with is he said right message, wrong messenger, because I think that there's always a right messenger. And you can't pick and choose who can tell the truth.
He another one of them niggas. He's another one. He's another one where I feel like if he take his glasses off, his nose will come off with it too. Yeah, he reminds me of Myron. Why is it always the trash pandas that they got these noses where it look like when they wear glasses where it look like if you take them off, the nose will come off with it? Why is that? I genuinely want to know.
And who can't tell the truth.
Just because it's something that conservatives believe doesn't make it the truth. The messenger doesn't matter if it's skewed or false facts, especially when it comes to the DEI stuff.
I think that their reaction to what happened on campus is more of a reflection of who they were and not necessarily a reflection of who it is that was bringing the message. Anybody should be able to have a conversation and have debate. And if you don't like it, then you should just walk away, or you can observe quietly. But to run somebody off of campus was completely disrespectful to yourself, your parents, and your culture.
How? And again, this is around the time where HBCUs were getting threats. A black kid got hung at an HBCU. This is a very sensitive time, but you want to wear a MAGA hat and try to debate and get clips? No. They probably felt like their lives were in danger with you just being there. No. No.
One thing that I really dislike about conversations when it comes to young black people, and it's that they don't get the same grace or benefit that any other race does. It feels like young black people are always aged up or have to be more responsible or more accountable. Or when they do something wrong, they're hit with harder consequences than everybody else. I've been a teenager before. I was a college student at a HBCU. And if a young Republican would have came up trying to debate Bush points back then, they would have got ran off campus. So you can have your opinion about whether that was right or not for them to get run off campus. They didn't attack them or assault them. They kept their hands to themselves and yelled mean things. That's also freedom of speech that these conservatives preach about but don't like when it comes from someone that doesn't agree with them. But I do have to agree with Anton that they just shouldn't have engaged at all. They shouldn't have tried to talk to them, to debate them, or encircle them to make a point. But ignoring something like that on campus takes organization and strategy and communication, which clearly those students didn't have at the time because they didn't even know that this was happening. Those guys just showed up on campus unannounced.
We need the Bible back in HBCUs. We need conservatives back in HBCUs. And until that changes, all that money that Trump invested will be just flushed down the toilet.
That's such a weird thing to hang your hat on. I believe every president funds HBCUs, and Trump did give more than usual. But at the same time, this administration is erasing black history and giving somebody like Charlie Kirk a national day of recognition. So him hanging his hat on Trump being the savior of HBCUs is just kind of weird to me.
So HBCU, who just got a bunch of federal funding from Trump himself, kick out two guys.
You think just because we got federal, HBCUs got federal funding, you think they have to listen to MAGA opinions on their campuses? No, they do not. They're not obligated to. No. What are you talking about?
Who just wanted to sit down and have a conversation just like Charlie Kirk used to do in college.
No, for the wrong reasons. For the wrong reasons. Let's call a spade a spade. They trying to get clips, bro.
College campuses, but instead of accepting it, they decided it was best if they booted them out, act all crazy, have these signs called Black Lives Matter.
Nobody is obligated to have a debate. It was those students' free speech to have those signs and to tell those people what they thought about them. I don't know why these people act like free speech only works one way.
I'm gonna say something and you're probably not gonna like it, but I don't really give a damn because I tell it 100, straight 100, no bullshit. I have dealt with racism, but not from whites, not from Hispanics, from blacks. I have been called every name in the book by blacks. You're not gonna sit here and tell me that black people are not the most racist people on the planet.
Let me ask y'all a question, because this just popped in my head. Is it racism if a black person calls another person that is black something because they don't necessarily agree with their ideology?
But that is not why they're insinuating, they're talking about the word trash panda, right? That's what they're talking about. But that's not the issue. It's not that we simply disagree. It's the fact that you're constantly defending racist white people at every turn, and you are doing everything in your power to put down the black community. When you do that, yes, that's when you're a coon.
When it comes to race. So, for example, if they call you a coon, they call you whatever, so on and so forth.
That's not, no, it is not racist. It is indeed not racist. And also, it really, I said this in my Trash Panda video, it really makes me think that people really don't understand what the word trash panda actually means. Because we're not saying that because you're black. We're saying, and you have conservative views. We're not saying that. We're saying that because you're essentially betraying your own people. That's where that term comes from.
I've been on the receiving end of a lot of that. Is that racism because they talking to another black person, or does it have to be directed at a white person, or is
You know what? When I'm looking at this dude, it's like a miserable nigga and a potato did the fusion dance together. I'm gonna start calling him Miserable Idaho. Yeah.
it based off of your mindset and ideologies and whatever it is that you know what I'm saying, stand on from a cultural perspective?
I can help you with that, Anton. Here's racism explained.
So white racism. Tell me the ways in which white racism adversely impacts the lives of black people. Education, okay. Economically, employment, housing, what else? Policing, healthcare, okay. Now we're gonna move over to black racism. Tell me the ways in which black racism adversely impacts the lives of white people as an entire group. The reason why you become silent, there's one that always comes up, and that's fear. White people are afraid of black people. They are afraid of us. We know white people are afraid, but you have to start getting into the psychology. What are you afraid of? Why are you afraid? But it's an interesting dynamic. Now, also you see the difference in what racism is, do you not? Racism implies you have not just prejudice, but the power to do something with that prejudice. Now, I don't like you, not only that, but I'm gonna control whether you can get, you know, I may say I hate you. I hate white people. I hate them. It's not going to change you getting that loan when you go to the bank. I can hate you all the way to the bank. Not going to change. Do you see the difference? That whereas white racism says, not only do I not like you, but I'm going to change the impact of where you can live. I'm going to determine with that racism where your powers are. You following me?
And if you want to prove me wrong, prove me wrong. I don't give a shit. Wow. I've dealt with it. Even when I voted for Trump, I dealt with it, but twice as worse.
While I don't agree with all the names of the name calling, the black people were calling her out for voting for Trump, giving what those campaigns were, given the things that were said on the campaign trail, given the things that the administration is doing now, kind of makes sense why she would be called out and why she seems bitter toward black people.
I was called a coon, I was called an Uncle Tom, I was called every single name in the book.
Now, keep in mind, I would never call somebody that just for the simple fact that they voted for Trump. Because I do know there are also a lot of single issue voters out here, and that could vary from abortion to same-sex marriage. I don't disagree with it, but like I understand if you do. Or I said I don't disagree with it. I don't agree with it, but I understand if you do. So like I would never call somebody that just because they voted for Trump.
By what? Black people. When I got married to my husband and they saw a picture of my husband, they assumed that, you know, he was white, even though he's Puerto Rican, even though I've said that a million fucking...
Well, to be fair, I mean, we knew he wasn't black. I mean, if we're being honest, we knew he wasn't black. It's just
times that he's Puerto Rican.
Fuck.
Black people have a tendency to embarrass themselves over and over and over.
Bro, what's up, Justin? Justin, I almost had 700 people in here, bro. It's ridiculous.
Again. And at this point, there is no point in trying to get through to them.
It's always weird when I hear black people say they and them as if they're removed from being black or they don't see themselves as black. At the end of the day, if you're black, black people are your people. They are our people. And again, black people are not a monolith, but the generalizations are on purpose, and it is conservative talking points. And it is a conservative strategy that when you're speaking negative about black people, it's all black people. It's the culture.
Everything in their mind is racist. This is how you know the mainstream media has brainwashed them.
To say that all black people are racist or all black people are this or that is just wrong. And I just think it's funny that everybody else, all the other black people are brainwashed except her and the other guy in the video.
Point of no return. Some of them who are smart enough may be saved, but I don't see that. I don't see that happening.
So all black people are dumb. And Anton is over here smirking like a proud parent right now.
Nah, you know what? And again, I don't think it's necessarily black people. I think it's the culture. And every single person is not the same way that all white people aren't the same, and so on and so forth.
That's good that he made that distinction that all black people aren't the same, just like all white people aren't the same. But when he says the culture is the problem, is toxic, or whatever the case, what culture are you talking about? Black American culture?
I don't think that they're embarrassing us. I think that they're embarrassing them. And anybody that supports it, anybody that advocates for it, and anybody that thinks it's cool.
These themselves by speaking their mind and demanding that 2 MAGA kids leave their campus. They kept their hands to themselves. I didn't see them throw anything. Maybe they said some wild stuff, sure, but they didn't embarrass themselves by not wanting to engage and wanted them off their campus.
If a person that doesn't look like you, if they don't stand for what you stand for, if they not aligned with what you align with, If they decide that they want to walk through campus or they want to have a conversation or a respectful debate, then all hell is going to break loose.
That's false. Again, at my HBCU, we had white kids that went there. If you look at black fraternities and sororities, there's usually a white person or two there. We had Democrats and Republicans come speak peacefully on campus. Right after Charlie Kirk passes, wearing those MAGA hats, coming on campus with signs. What those MAGA guys were doing was antagonistic to black students on that campus. And they knew exactly what they were doing. They were trying to incite people and to get a viral moment, which unfortunately is exactly what they got and posted directly on their socials.
And again, I said this on After Hours, it was more of an embarrassment of them than it was, and when I say them, the actual students, black students at HBCUs. And it's so funny because I was just reading about and observing other people make comments about the fact that HBCUs received a ton of funding from the Trump administration, which obviously this is not the first time. And he's been very supportive of HBCUs.
HBCUs have received funding from all administrations. It's not that Trump decided to just be generous to black people all of a sudden. HBCUs have always received funding from administrations.
In ways that Democrats, especially Obama, was never in support of HBCUs, but
Obama gave funding to HBCUs. Trump just gave more this time.
He's the president.
So how the fuck can you say that? How can you say that? How can you say somebody is not in support of something, even though they did give money to an HBCU? How can you say, oh yeah, they didn't support them at all? You're only saying that because they gave less than Trump. Like that's weird, bro.
The entire United States of America, including HBCUs, the whole concept of HBCUs in 2025, as of the recording of this video.
You know what? I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I ain't listening to no nigga that got Easter basket grass on his face. Like I'm sorry. This is hard. This is really hard. Like Jesus, I don't know what you putting in your beard, bro, but you need to stop. Your beard looking mad synthetic. All right. If I light a match and I throw it in your beard, that bitch is gonna catch fire.
It's very dumb. It's very stupid in the first place because it's basically racist in itself because there's no other community of people that can actually have their own colleges that is primarily designed to uphold their culture and speak to whatever it is that they come from.
PWIs, there's even a name for it. It's predominantly white institutions. And that's basically every other institution that isn't an HBCU. HBCUs were started in the first place because black people could not get higher education. So we built our own colleges to teach our people, to get them degrees, to allow them to advance further in life. Even today, there are doctors, lawyers, engineers, architects that come from HBCUs. It is a college like any other college, but it is a safe space for black people, and it is 100% necessary, especially in this day and age where things have gotten worse and more racist than they were before. So for a black person to say that HBCUs are not only unnecessary, but also wrong is revealing to that person's perspective on black people and society as a whole.
Even when you try to have respectful debate at an organization or at a university that was founded by white people, you start to see all of these signs and hateful messages about Black Lives Matter.
Those MAGA hats represent racism to black people, whether you like it or not. Those MAGA guys knew what they were doing, trying to get a clippable moment, which they did. And I would say a lot of black people were proud of the kids for how they handled it.
Notice how nobody got shot on that HBCU. Can y'all acknowledge that?
Nobody got shot. Nobody got assaulted. Like, nothing happened.
Unlike Charlie Kirk on a PWI. Why don't white murders through the roof right now? What's crazy to me is all these black students did was record them, laugh at them, yell at them, essentially clowned and bullied them until they were off the campus. And yet, they still got called animals. You got people calling to defund the school. They're getting called ghetto university and no class, amongst other things. All the while, from both the eyes of campus security and the university administration, these MAGA Charlie Kirk wannabes were absolutely disturbing the peace. These clowns show up to an HBCU unannounced. No permission, no pre-approval, and wanting to debate with black students about racism and mass deportation. That sounds like you're the ones looking for trouble. And just like y'all have the First Amendment right to debate whatever y'all want, people also have the First Amendment right to record, laugh, and yell at your ass. But y'all selectiveness with who gets free speech is also proving y'all racism, just so we're clear.
I truly believe the whole goal of that was rage bait, because here are two unknown people trying to continue the Charlie Kirk legacy. I don't even think they're with his organization, but they're trying to do what he did. They're trying to get their name out there. And how do they do that? They go to the black campuses talking about things that they know would offend or get a reaction out of black people. This was all a performance.
Shout out to the students at Tennessee State University that forced away racist Trump supporters that gathered on their campus. This is exactly how we need to be dealing with racism. Black people's humanity is not up for debate, and HBCUs were created to give black people a space to learn away from the disruption of white supremacy. I don't know why white conservatives have like this weird obsession with us.
That was Anton's first video about not liking the reception of the MAGA guys going to a HBCU. I think it was Tennessee State University, and basically getting walked off the campus. And even in that first video, you see how he picked 2 clips that were in support of his narrative and his perspective, when there were a gazillion other people talking about those that also had clips that supported what the kids did. And were
that's textbook. That's what they do. That's what they do.
Against those MAGA guys coming on that campus unannounced to basically start a conflict, not a debate, to get a clippable moment. But this is his second video about the subject, which again gives away more about how he feels.
An HBCU grad, let me explain to you exactly why Fearless Debates was not welcome on the TSU campus. A white man took the life of another white man at a white school in one of the whitest states in the country. And the next day, white conservatives took it upon themselves to launch credible threats at HBCUs across the country. Yes.
To be fair, I do not know if they're white conservatives, but go on, yes.
Yesterday, several young men wearing MAGA hats took it upon themselves to visit an HBCU despite those threats with signs.
I forgot to mention that earlier, that after Charlie Kirk was killed, HBCUs got a bunch of death threats for no reason. For no reason. A white conservative killed another conservative and black people got death threats. So with that being the case, of course, kids on campus going about their normal lives are unsettled, feel unsafe, and MAGA presence on an HBCU campus after those threats, of course, is unwelcome.
An HBCU, despite those threats, with signs that said deport all illegals and DEI should be illegal, and they expected some type of civil debate. Despite the fact that so many black people are the children of immigrants or immigrants themselves, these men took it upon themselves to go to a black school and antagonize the students. In the videos that they took and posted to their own social media, they claimed that they shut up for a civil debate and were met with nothing but violence. Despite the fact that there was no violence.
Yeah, I was about to say there was absolutely no violence. Those kids kept their hands to themselves. Maybe they said mean words that they didn't like, but again, that's free speech, right?
Depicted in those videos, they still took it upon themselves to characterize the students who rightfully felt threatened as violent people. Tennessee State University put out a statement saying that those students acted in a respectable way, and I have nothing to say, but I agree. You don't get to ride the coattails of threats and then show up at our schools and act like you're doing us a favor.
Right.
Quite frankly, I think those students acted in the most respectful way possible, because if you did that at my alma mater, anything could have happened to you.
First of all right, it's so much sass in this fucking video.
What the f does that have to do with anything? When you bring up their sexuality before even discussing the point that they made, you try to invalidate their argument by calling out their sexuality. So what are you really trying to say here?
It's insane. Like, real talk.
So this man made nothing but points, bullet after bullet after bullet, and Anton's only response is he's sassy or his delivery. Matter of fact, I'll make sure I show the titles of these 2 videos because they're also revealing. So he's trying to take away the guy's whole points by just pointing out sass.
All I see is sass. And if this is what they are teaching at HBCUs, which is bad enough that major universities across the United States of America, whether you identify them as the most, prestigious / has the biggest funding, the biggest.
I'm just going to make the assumption that the brother is gay. You're saying there aren't gay people at PWIs at predominant.
You're crazy. You are actually insane. Yeah, but there are thousands of gay black people. I mean, not even just black people, of gay people within PWIs. This nigga didn't go to college. He didn't go to college. There are many gay people that go to PWIs. I went to one. Gay people everywhere.
Predominantly white institutions at white colleges. What does HBCU have to do with him being sassy or being gay? Right. Absolutely nothing. But Anton is refusing to address the points that he makes and is now making personal attacks.
So on and so forth, the biggest prestige, the greatest graduates, the phenomenal whatever, blah, blah, blah. They are bad in itself. But if this is the type of behavior that HBCU grads, which he never actually said where he graduated from. To my knowledge, it was just so much fucking sass on the screen. I just couldn't see it anyway.
This is a well-spoken dude that made points, and he's literally just talking about his mannerisms. Like how you have a channel as big as this. And I guarantee you, the comments under this video are probably supporting everything he's saying, which is just crazy to me.
If he's sitting there and saying that them throwing up signs and, you know, the FU signs and basically screaming and unruly and dancing and pumping on the screen and all of this stuff.
And if they were white, you would be defending him.
If that's what he identifies as respectful, then respectfully, I'd have to say that we doing a horrible job, and I mean a severe, horrible job in educating and teaching young people of tomorrow how to conduct themselves. And actually, we're supporting and upholding prejudice, bias, and racist views that does not have any place in society, and is one of the reasons why we need to dismantle diversity, equity, and inclusion and start making it merit-based.
The kids on campus and how they acted in that video when they were basically walking or demanding that these MAGA guys leave their campus has nothing to do with education, has nothing to do with DEI. So why he's making those correlations is super weird. And again, I have to address DEI because I hate this conversation.
I hate
DEI,
it too.
just like affirmative action, was designed to give everybody an equal playing field and an equal shot at opportunities. And this is because for so long, the corporate world has been, it's who you know, not what you know. Where people would hire people just based on color. Where white guys would hire other white guys just because they were white or they knew another white guy. And other qualified or overqualified candidates of color with master's degrees and doctorates and work experience, men and women, wouldn't even get an opportunity at an interview, wouldn't even be able to get their foot in the door because there were so many backdoor dealings to give people positions that they didn't deserve. So that's the basis of DEI and affirmative action. And for conservatives to act like black people or women were just getting handouts because they were black isn't the case. Anybody that got an opportunity with affirmative action.
Yeah, to act like these people aren't qualified is just so asinine. Like it's ridiculous to me. So you really think people will lower standards just so that they can hire black people? No, because and that's why I hate the whole Charlie Kirk example of, oh, when I see a black pilot, I get scared because did he really deserve to be a pilot? Yes. Do you think a company is going to want to be held liable because they hired somebody inexperienced flying planes? Like this is a stupid conversation that we're having.
Or DEI were qualified by degrees, by work experience. They didn't get opportunities just because of the color of their skin. It's actually the opposite, where white people got opportunities just because of the color of their skin without being qualified for jobs.
That part of what we should do is also include people's takes on social media in order to qualify them of whether or not they're a cultural fit.
Oh, that's great. So only hire conservatives online that agree with the conservative CEO. Don't hire anybody else. No diversity in a company at all. Just all white conservative or MAGA guys, right? That's what Anton...
Because the white man knows best, boss. Oh, man, I sure do love me some massa. I love me some massa, boss. The white man knows best. Oh my gosh.
It amazes me how these black conservatives act and speak against their own people's self-interest. So just because a black person isn't conservative, they shouldn't get opportunities to work in this world. How does that help the black community? How does that...
To be fair, OG Sean, I can do a lot of different voices. So I don't know. I've had a lot of practice, I guess.
That help black people as a whole? How does that uplift or progress or bring up the next generation to be successful? It doesn't, because these guys don't really care about the black community.
The minute that you start to support nonsense, or you start to be okay with that statement that basically said that those students conducted themselves in the utmost respectful manner and no incident or nothing like that, that's nonsense. We seen them throwing stuff, cups, hitting their windows. They was basically yelling and screaming.
And these are the same people that will never talk about January 6th, where the actual Capitol was attacked and people were assaulted. But they get a pass. They can work wherever they want. They can get hired wherever they want. They're seen as respectable people in society. But some college kids running somebody that's unwelcome on their campus off is where you draw the line. Again, he made a bunch of really good points, and Anton responded to none of them. Now, let's be clear. The black community definitely has its issues. We are not perfect at all. Some of us are advancing and thriving educationally, professionally and personally. Others aren't. Violence, crime, self-destruction is real, and I won't deny that. But that does not sum up the black community or the black experience in America historically. What makes these black conservative YouTubers so bad is they don't address any of these issues in context. Because problems exist in every community. The opioid crisis destroyed the white community, just like crack destroyed the black community. But you don't hear about that. These people aren't fair or balanced. They are trying to push a conservative narrative, and they focus on making black people look and sound as bad as possible. But thanks for watching. Y'all let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Also, make sure you check out the next video, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram for behind the scenes and life.
Man, shout out you. W video, couldn't agree more. Jesus Christ, man. Wow. Yeah, well, I have another trash panda to talk about, guys.